Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So on the live stream that I had about over a month ago, I mentioned the Trollhunters is Dumb and Bad video series by Robobuddies, and I said, you know, what if I make a response to this whole thing? And you guys said yes. So we're gonna do that today. We are gonna be basically reacting. It's basically a reaction video to the Trollhunters is Dumb and Bad video, part 1. I'm just going to be commentating over part 1 because this first video is 14 minutes long. Let's just get into this and basically critique or criticize her critiques. Let's do it.
Silent Hill PT, and Death Stranding looks awesome, so I know he can step out of his comfort zone and still produce quality work.
Yep. So by the way, I skipped through like 2 minutes, or actually almost 3 minutes, because that was the intro. That was the whole intro. So that was just talking about like Guillermo del Toro's work and DreamWorks' work on like movies and TV shows, and that was basically the whole thing. So I'm not going to cover that because it's not very important.
With all these pieces lined up, seems to me like we're in for a great show, right? Right? Am I right?
Okay, so the problem with this is, well, of course, like, since she didn't upload this video yet, she made her own views and her own likes and dislikes. She thought that there was going to be an exponential amount of likes rather than dislikes, but if you look at the actual like to dislike ratio, it's so bad. It's just so funny that she expected more likes than dislikes, which she did get, but it's like not very high.
So the episode opens on a canal with the sun starting to rise.
Okay,
There's a radio here that appears to be coming from this car, talking about how the sun is rising just in case you don't have eyes.
Okay, so the radio is definitely important because it did say where this location is. Arcadia Oaks. Good morning, Arcadia Oaks. And then I think adding like beautiful sunrise added some more flair and character to it. Yep, paper cup.
Wow, am I watching a World of Warcraft trailer? Where did these guys come from? They exchanged some...
They came from above the canal. You can clearly see that there's no sunlight yet. They clearly were fighting for a long time, as you can tell from their heavy breaths. And they were fighting for a long time. And they stumbled down the canal. I mean, you can even further prove this by just reading the prologue in this book. The adventure begins. It covers like what happened before this intro sequence. But you can clearly see what they were trying to say through visuals. This is just an instance of getting down to the canal before the sun rose.
Dialogue for heavy breaths, so they've clearly been fighting for some time. Yet there's no indication of a battle scene before or after this. It's almost like the characters didn't exist in that location until Evil Guy spawned and stepped on the paper cup.
That's not true. They didn't spawn. They stumbled down the canal because of physics.
Okay. Look at these characters and already it becomes glaringly obvious which one the audience is supposed to root for.
Isn't that good though? It's exposition through visuals. I don't see what's wrong with this.
The show was created by Guillermo del Toro, right? The guy who brought us amazing character designs in both Pan's Labyrinth and Pacific Rim.
Oh, I hate this part.
Right. He directed this.
Yeah, he did.
So why didn't he push for better designs than this?
Because these designs already look very cool, and I like these designs. This is more of personal preference and opinion.
These two characters don't even look like they belong in the same show. This guy looks like an MMO villain, and this guy looks like a background character from Monsters, Inc.
Why is that bad? Why is that bad?
So Evil Guy is all like, yield, and Hero Guy is all like, a troll hunter never yields.
That's what they said,
and
yeah.
Evil Guy makes this big heckin' jump.
Yeah?
I thought these were big hulking monsters, not dainty acrobats. How the heck?
It's stylized.
Why are these things moving so fast?
It's stylized. It's because it's stylized. It doesn't have to be realistic all the time.
Going back to Pacific Rim, Guillermo made sure that the movements of both the kaiju and the Jaegers were very slow and deliberate.
Those things are 50 to 100 feet tall. You are comparing trolls from Trollhunters to these beasts and how they move. That's not a good that is not a good comparison. That's not even like it's not even the same ballpark.
In order to emphasize,
and this is live action too. Like it's supposed to be realistic.
The size of these things. And while the trolls in the show aren't nearly as large, it's still kind of ridiculous to see what are supposed to be heavy beasts shooting around like ninjas.
'Cause it is stylized. It doesn't have to be realistic. Again, it doesn't have to be realistic all the time. It's animation. They can do whatever the heck they want.
The tide of battle shifts, and in these shots we see that the sunlight hurts the trolls.
Yes.
This isn't a bad way to establish this concept, but it does make me wonder how the fight even got to this location.
Okay, they got to this location before the sun rose. They got to the canal before the sun rose. So, of course, they had some sort of way to get to the canal before the sun rose. It was at nighttime. This is a terrible criticism because she's obviously not paying attention to what happened 30 seconds ago, where the sun was actually under and it wasn't shining light on the canal.
Both parties get hurt by sunlight, and neither of them want to be discovered by humans, so why would they choose to fight in a location where the sun is bound to rise and where any Randy driving by could see them? How did this fight initiate? What is their goal apart from obtaining the amulet?
That's Bular's entire goal, and killing the troll hunter. It's to obtain the amulet and kill the troll hunter. I think that's a good goal for a villain.
How did they even get here?
They got here because they tumbled down the canal before the sun rose.
Way over to the under part of the bridge, and in this first shot, evil guy is clearly right behind him.
Yeah.
But in the next shot, he's gone. And then
that's such a nitpick. That's such a nitpick. I don't know why you had to mention that.
And yes, hi. How did he get there?
That's literally one problem that I have with that. That's just literally one problem in this entire intro sequence that I have. It was like, how did he get there? But it's such a nitpick.
Did he change his mind about chasing Hero Guy between cuts and then rocket boost around to the other side? Did he jump over without Hero Guy being able to see him somehow? What is even happening? We get some nice camera work here with Hero Guy climbing under the—
Okay, she's just about to critique that Bular is like I'm just gonna show you
the bridge, and then evil guy just
spawns. He did not spawn. If you look back,
some nice camera work here with Hero Guy climbing.
He clearly went up first, so he had enough time to get on top and get above Kanjagar and do his move.
The bridge, and then
he had enough time to make his move and get up on the top.
Evil guy just spawns on top of him.
He did not spawn.
So at this point, I'm guessing evil guy has had the power to teleport this whole time, and the show just keeps forgetting to mention it. Okay, so we can clearly see this guy's hand be turned into stone, but then it cuts to the front of him and it's just gone.
That's one good criticism. That's one good criticism from this entire video.
Like, he's not even gonna try to keep fighting. He's just like, okay, I'm done, and then kills himself. Hey!
He killed himself. He got into the sun because he didn't want Bular to grab the amulet.
It never yields. Well, it sure looks like yielded to me.
Because he had to, so that Bular could steal the amulet.
Also, despite having been turned to stone, this guy seems completely capable of using his face. I mean, I get that this scene wouldn't be—
He's not completely capable of using his face. Look, he's completely capable of using this side of his mouth, but not this side. You don't even know if he can see from this eye.
Capable of using its face. I mean, I get that this scene wouldn't be as dramatic if he was all like, but it makes it seem as if all going into the sunlight does is give you a palate.
Okay. He was able to still speak because he had the other side of the mouth.
Swap. But anyway, he kills himself, and it's all dramatic, and evil guy is angry because he can't get the omelet now that it's in the sunlight, except
omelet.
He totally can. I bet if he took off his belt—
What did I just hear in the music? What was that?
In the sunlight, except he totally can.
I might have to bleep that out. I didn't realize. Did you hear that? I heard the F word there.
Bet if he took off
in the music
his belts and tied one end to one of his swords, he could probably hook the amulet and pull it over into the shade. Heck, it's clearly not that far from the shade. Why not just reach out and grab it?
It is very far from the shade. This is like right there. This sword is like right there. He could easily grab that without hurting himself too much.
Really, really fast, like Hero Guy did with his sword.
But it's not the same thing. The amulet is way further from the sun than you're realizing.
Very least, he could wait until a cloud goes over the sun or something, but nah, he just leaves. But yeah, so this is how the episode starts. This is what we get to establish the plot and hook the audience into the story.
And it's intriguing.
I don't know about you, but I think that this opening scene is pretty lacking. Not conceptually. On paper, it seems like a fine idea to open the first episode with the previous troll hunter dying. But the way it's presented makes me ask more questions than what I think the writers wanted me to.
That's because the writers didn't expect you to ask questions that are blatantly obvious in front of you.
Opening an episode with a big bombastic fight scene is fine, but you have to be able to get the audience to care for it to work.
I do care for it. It did work.
Some examples. When the first episode of Gravity Falls opens, we get a little monologue about summer vacation from the main character, which right away sets up the major themes of the show. We see a number of pine trees hinting at the show's location in Oregon, before the camera rests on a sign showing the show's title location.
Okay, so she talks about the monologue. Monologues are the laziest way to create exposition for a show. I mean, it works for Gravity Falls. I think it works great for Gravity Falls as a show, but not for Trollhunters. I think Trollhunters did a good job at showing, not telling. So, yeah.
Then, all of a sudden, two kids crash through the sign and drive away from a monster in a golf cart. Already, the outlandish situation is enough to intrigue me.
Okay. Okay. Gravity Falls is a show that has a bunch of weirdness. It's hand-drawn, so there's a lot more exaggeration. And it's just a lot more stylized with what's going on. It has more weirdness going on. Trollhunters is a lot more grounded. It has trolls, but it's set in a realistic setting. It's a lot more realistic and grounded. So this is just not a good comparison because Gravity Falls has an advantage here in terms of like what's going on, you know, like that kind of feeling. What's going on?
Up by the visual desperation of the two characters in the golf cart, and when the camera freeze frames on the character's silly expressions, we get a taste of the show's sense of humor.
Yeah.
Note that this intro scene is only about 45 seconds long, less than half of Trollhunters' opening scene, and yet it gets me exponentially more interested in the show than Trollhunters does. You might say I'm being unfair.
Maybe that's just personal opinion. I'm not gonna comment. I'm not gonna comment on her personal opinion. I think that was just personal preference.
They are comparing such a fantastic show to Trollhunters. I'd say that considering Trollhunters was made by talented industry veterans while Gravity Falls was made by relative newbies, that it's more than fair to compare the two, but I'll bite. Instead of comparing a crap show to a fantastic show,
and then she makes this stupid graph. She makes this graph like, oh, Trollhunters, bad. Gravity Falls, good. I like Trollhunters more than Gravity Falls, so for me, Trollhunters is like up here.
So let's go to the middle of the road and talk about a Canadian CG animated.
And then she talks about Slug Terra. Gosh, dang it! I hate this video so much. Slug Terra is not a good show. I don't even know why you're mentioning this. I can't take this seriously because guess what? It's Slug Terra. I'm not gonna take it seriously. So I'm gonna skip over this.
Look at Trollhunters. Its opening scene doesn't tell the audience much about the world of the show. We don't get a good impression of the villain or of what it means to be a troll hunter, and there is
actually, the villain wants to get the amulet and kill the troll hunter. That's his main goal, right? It's his main goal. Kanjigar. What it means to be a troll hunter is to protect trollkind. It's obvious. Troll hunter never yields. Makes sense. So this is just wrong.
Isn't any interesting story bits to get us invested. At this point, I'm sure you're wondering why on earth I would spend 14 minutes just to
14 minutes you did not spend. You spent like 5 minutes talking about Slug Terra and Gravity Falls. You spent 5 minutes on critiquing you're wasting my time.
Discussing the opening scene. Well, like an opening scene to a show, this opening video is just a precursor for things to come. So join me next time for when I talk about the actual events of the first episodes.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
And
then she just said, I'm Robo. No, you're Red Van Buskirk now.
I'm very tired. So bye.
Oh, that's loud. Okay. I'm done with this. Alright, so that video was pretty bad. It basically just made nitpick after nitpick, focusing on the small things. It didn't make me feel like, oh, now Trollhunters is dumb and bad. Now I know that now. That's what a video essay is supposed to do, right? It's supposed to kind of like make you think about like, oh, is this show actually good? The whole video was just nitpicking and opinions. I haven't watched the second part, so I hope that she has better critiques in that one, but this is just this ain't it, Chief. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Tune in next time for Trollhunters is Dumb and Bad Part 2 reaction. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.